Welcome back to the Grand Prix of Sweden. We're at Uddevalla in the southwest of the country there, right on that little peninsula. And while the temperature seems to have dropped a little bit, it's a lot brighter, the sky more blue, clouds cleaner than they were a couple of hours ago when they were just full of dark moodiness and dumping rain down on the MX2 riders as they embarked on the first of the laps completed, 18 in MX2 race 1 earlier on. There's Jeffrey Herlings, Arnold Tonus down on the grid getting ready as the rest of the riders make their way through from the waiting zone, the Parc Fermé, and the hill people are back. But if you've been watching our live show just a moment ago, you would have seen the machinery in the background just moving lots of material out on the track. But that first corner, as you come out of that left-hander at the end of the straight here and exit down by pit lane on the reverse side, a lot of water still down there. They've done their best to get rid of it, but as they were driving through it, it was just kind of rolling back into place. So it's not going to be ideal again, but a lot of work has taken place out on the track. Faces of jumps, that kind of thing, and maybe even opened up a bit more of a race line. But in an hour, there's only so much they can do. We've got a good breeze here. The track will dry out anyway quite quickly. The times that you saw on, or the names on the screen that you just saw, that's how they qualified, that's how they lined up to the start race. The same for race 1 and race 2, of course, not where you finished in the first moto. But a lot brighter conditions, the music already pumping out from the speakers, the hill people are on their feet, overlooking the start and the first turn. As the Monster Energy 15-second board goes up, the beat of the drum from the speakers gets ready to get the fans in the mood here. Tommy Searle lining up at gate number 3. He's got Tonus in between him and Jeffrey Herlings. And who's it going to be that grabs that start? That all-important hole shot here, very much needed. And oh, look at that car. Tommy Searle. I was going to say Tonus there for a moment, but Searle gets a good jump. He comes out in 3rd place. Not sure where everybody else is, but he certainly looked to have done a job on Herlings initially. A couple of Kawasaki's bump and grind as riders held up in that bottom corner. Is one of them Herlings or, well, Lupino's down there. The whole shot was Dylan Ferrandis, according to that, on the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki. Then we've got Jake Nichols in 2nd, and then is that Tommy Searle, I think it is, in 3rd. Then just behind them, Charlier, and maybe Nick Larson. Looked like that might have been the case, but we'll wait and see as they come through. But obviously not able to get machines over on that side of the circuit in such a hurry, but still a lot of water laying down there in that dip. Jake Nichols getting a great start though. Nastan Jam Racing KTM. So Ferrandis, Nichols, Tommy Searle looking to go round the outside on this freshly prepared part of the circuit. Still going to be very, very slick. Oh, Tommy Searle runs it deep and has to defend coming into this next left. As Tonus and Charlier, number 7 and number 23. Tonus going through on the Frenchman into 4th position. Here's Tommy Searle trying to find a way around. And look at that, all this fresh dirt that's been moved. And he gets hung up. Maybe hits neutral as well. Different camera angle there. Herlings, according to our first lap split, down in 18th place at the moment. So Tommy Searle needs to run with this one at the moment if he's to claw back the deficit. 27 points after that first race win, Jeffrey Herlings. And he's going to be on the charge as well. So it's going to go one of 2 ways for Herlings in this second moto. Going to go too early and risk making mistakes on a circuit that probably is in worse shape than it was for moto number 1. Yes, it's a little bit drier as Tommy Searle edges off the back of that Kawasaki past Jake Nichols and into 2nd position. But where they've machined the circuit and got rid of some of those ruts, the ground is still going to be very, very soft. So a rider might think, okay, I'm going to go wide here, and suddenly loses a front end in something that could be a foot deep very, very easily. And likewise, a line that might look dry because it's been freshly prepped will be very, very wet and treacherous. But everybody through on the first lap. So we've got Ferrandis in yellow here, number 22, leading the number 100 of Tommy Searle. Jake Nichols is third. Christophe Charlier is fourth. Arnold Tonus has gone missing here because now it's Joe Roulant, the green Kawasaki there, in fifth place. Then we got Zach Osborne 6th, Jose Boutron 7th, Arnold Tonus now 8th, Julian Lieber 9, Van Horebeek 10, Favourite, Larson, Tixier, Guyot, Koldenov, Nygaard, Ivanov, Tonkov, Cherblin, Jonsson. I heard our commentator out on the circuit mention something about Herlings, and it would appear that Herlings has dropped even further back, so down in 29th as he comes through at the end of that first lap. So maybe in just too much of a hurry to get the job done, Jeffrey Herlings. So it's going to be a very, very long race for the teenager, the 17-year-old championship leader from the Netherlands. Tommy Searle will probably get the pit board next time around. Oh, Roulants has gone down. Roulants goes out of fifth place. Lupino goes through. So Alessandro Lupino. So Roulants has been down for a while because Lupino was down in 28th place. Is that Herlings? That was Herlings crashing on that first lap. That's why he came through in 28th position. That's the wave section working their way back up towards the finish line area. So Herlings really just needs to regroup, refocus, and concentrate on the job at hand. First of all, get in the points and pick them off one by one. Dylan Ferrandis looking great out front, though, on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki. The number 22, fastest man on track, though, Jeremy Van Horebeek down in 6th place, the Red Bull Factory KTM rider. So Ferrandis, Tommy Searle, Jake Nichols, Charlier, Osborne, Van Horebeek, Jose Boutron, Julian Lieber, LRT Motorsports KTM, Roman Febvre, Bodo Schmidt KTM, Jordi Tixier 10th, Valentin Guyot. Oh, who was that? Oh, not pretty. 230, might have been. Couldn't quite see, but maybe 260. Remy Nygaard on the Kawasaki. But looking good so far. Good start in Moto 1, doing just that in Moto 2. Dylan Ferrandis has a slender advantage over Tommy Searle. These two around 3 seconds further up the track. Tonus is out. Back brake problems. Might have a stone wedged in there somewhere. So Tonus then having to come in for running repairs. Meanwhile, we still wait to see where Jeffrey Herlings is in terms of his position out on track at the moment, and he's making light work of everybody, up to 21st at the moment, just ahead of Joel Roulant. Then Tonus came through in 23rd place, but we saw him come through into the work area. Tommy Searle going after Dylan Ferrandis, gets better drive on the approach to the tabletop. Top end of the circuit, working their way, loses the front end. It's a very dodgy corner through there anyway. Hard and loose, goes to the inside. Probably not so deep through there. Look at all that gloop on the outside. Ferrandis looks over, sees Tommy Searle coming through, runs him a little bit wide, but not overly so. Neither rider able to get over the finish line jump, so we have a new race leader, fastest man on track, 2 minutes 0.6 for Tommy Searle. Wait for the guys to come through then. Ferrandis, Nichols, they're already over the line. In third, Chris Charlier is fourth. Zach Osborne is fifth. 6th for Van Horebeek. 7th, Jose Boutron. Julian Lieber is 8th. Roman Febvre is 9th. Already 17 seconds down on our race leader. Jordi Tixier comes through in 10th on the Red Bull KTM. Then we've got Valentin Guyot, Scott Racing KTM. 11th, Glenn Koldenhoff, Nastan Racing, JM KTM. Then we've got Davis Ivanos, Alex Tonkov, Garibaldi, Honda Ester Machine, Petar Petrov, Kenny Van Duren, Max Anstey down in 17th. Herlings now in 18th, 36 seconds down on our race leader. But more importantly for him, he's got Max Anstey just half a second ahead. Kenny Van Duren, Petar Petrov, all within 2 or 3 seconds. So, barring any more mishaps, Jeffrey Herlings should be expected to climb easily into the top 10, but it's just a case of where he can get in the next 27.5 minutes plus 2 laps. Tommy Searle, though, the fastest man on track. There's Jake Nichols, lead rider in shot at the bottom of the hill. Just behind him, Christophe Charlier, Monster Energy Yamaha just there, number 23. Followed by the 338, Zach Osborne. So we've got the two Monster Energy Yamahas, one from the Rinaldi team, one from the Bike It Steve Dixon squad. Zach Osborne, of course, first race back from injury, moto number 1, came home in 5th. And he's there again and in 5th place in this second race. Looking to make a move on Charlier. Zach Osborne there, 3:38, second rider in shot, following. Up onto that little off camber, going to jump to the inside here. Doesn't get the drive though, like Tommy Searle did when he made a move on Dylan Ferrandis a moment ago. Jumps it short as well on the finish line jump, loses vital ground to Charlier. Got to be careful that Jeremy Van Horebeek, who's the fastest man on track that time around, doesn't home in too much. Riders coming out of there then. Yeah, Tonus, problems with that back brake. Locked up the rear wheel. That might have been a similar fate. In fact, he's back in again, that looks like. Unless that's where they were working down on the entry to pit lane. Charlier, 23, Zach Osborne, 3:38, battle for 4th place. There's the yellow of Dylan Ferrandis. We've got yellow flags waving up ahead. Jake Nichols just getting in a bit of a deep rut there as he comes out of that left through that right. Rider down at the bottom of the hill. Jeffrey Herlings now up in a 15th position. Van Horebeek right on the back of this case now of the Yamaha of Zach Osborne. So Van Horebeek, the lead Red Bull KTM factory rider at the moment here. Jake Nichols, the lead KTM rider on the Nistan GM racing machine, down in 3rd at the moment, and he's got Charlier, Osborne, Van Horebeek all over the back of him. Not easy to pass around here in Uddevalla. It's round 9 of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. We're at Uddevalla in Sweden. And Tommy Searle has a 2-second advantage over Dylan Ferrandis. 25 minutes to go. Jake Nichols is 3rd, Charlier 4th, Osborne 5th, and that's who we're looking at here. Steaming machine going through that wave section, dropping down into the bottom end of the circuit. There's Glenn Coldenhoff down in 11th place. Got Roman Fevre, Bodo Schmidt, Motorsport KTM just there. Really starting to come on strong now, Roman Fevre, in terms of his championship. European champ from last year. There's Herlings and Roulance, so they're up into... well, Roulance has found a way past, I think. As we look at the 84 of Jeffrey Herlings, trying to find his way back up through the field. Herlings came through in 15th. Roulance just ahead of him, I thought. Just there. So just 2 riders ahead. So as they come over the line this time around, it'll be interesting to see where Roulance and Herlings are. Roman Fevre was in 12th, Tonkov 13, Roulance 14, Ivanovs and Herlings. Yeah, so Roulance has found a way through. Herlings tries to go through on Ivanovs. Doesn't make it easy for him, but then goes wide. Forcing the issue, gets way down a little bit there. Just gets over the tabletop. Oh, Osborne and Charlier have had a come to as well. They go out of 4th and 5th place. The 2 Monster Energy Yamahas, the left-hander before the tabletop. And do we have that? Oh, just getting into each other. Osborne tried to make a move. There was a back marker in there as well. Not good for Yamaha. Different teams, but the same brand, same sponsor. So Van Horebeek would have gone through. Boutron possibly, Julian Lieber, maybe even Tixier. Of course, we'll wait until we see, but certainly let this guy off the hook just a little bit. Number 45, Jake Nichols, comfortable in 3rd at the moment. 3 seconds down on Dylan Ferrandis on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki. But the important thing here is for Nichols, how far back is Van Horebeek? He was about 3 seconds further back before. But Nichols comes through, 13 seconds down on Searle. Yeah, still 3 seconds, that gap between our rider there, 45, Jake Nichols, the Brit, and Van Horebeek. 3.173, look, as they came over the line. So Van Horebeek moves to 4th. Jose Boutron, Diga Racing KTM, goes 5th, which is pretty good considering he had a big crash yesterday. Osborne only lost a position. In fact, didn't lose a position, really. So Osborne 6th, Charlier 7th. They managed to get up before Jordi Tixier, but only just. Then Julian Lieber, Valentin Guyot, Glenn Koldenhoff, 11th. Roman Febvre, 12th. Roulants, 13th. Tonkov, 14th. Herlings still down in 15th place at the moment. Petar Petrov, 16th. Max Anstey, 17th. Lupino, Ivanovs, and Kenny Van Duren. They're your top 20 as we speak. Benoit Patrel, who had a good ride in Moto number 1 to finish in 10th on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki. He's out of the points at the moment, just behind Simone Zecchina in 22nd place. Arnold Tonis already out of the race. Of course, no Harry Koulas either. Went out on around about lap 10 in Moto number 1. Might have a knock to the knee. Of course, gone to the hospital to get it checked out. Of course, we'll give you more on that on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2 rider, as and when we get that news. But Van Horebeek, 89. Red Bull KTM Factory Racing has closed up on 3rd place. Jake Nichols here, number 45 on the Nissan JM Racing KTM. Square edge bumps coming out of there onto the face of that tabletop. So Nichols now going to be feeling the heat, but in terms of where he's finished already this year, Jake Nichols, he took a 5th in the opening moto in Valkenswaard, got a 4th in Fermo in Italy in the first race, and there goes Van Horebeek up the inside and takes away 3rd place from Jake Nichols. So season's best so far for Jake Nichols, already achieved with a 4th place finish in Italy. He gets pushed back there by Jeremy Van Horebeek, who will have his eyes firmly fixed on Dylan Ferrandis. We don't know what Ferrandis' fitness will be like in the second half of this race, of course. Track a lot quicker than it was in Moto number 1. In terms of the way that the riders can attack and that kind of thing, but still only a very, very narrow racing line. Here's Zach Osborne all over the back of Jose Boutron. This is a battle for 5th place. Osborne tries to go around the outside. How far dare he go, though? How deep is that? Doesn't quite get through. Bit of fogging on the camera lens there. Keeps it high, goes wide around the outside, but again, the long way round for Osborne. This is where he and Charlier went down a couple of laps ago, trying to take an easy move down the inside, but see how hard and slick it is through that left-hander. I wouldn't be surprised if Osborne just lost the front going through there. But with 19 minutes plus 2 laps to go, Tommy Searle continues to lead. He's 11 seconds clear of Dylan Ferrandis. His championship contender, though, Jeffrey Herlings, buried down in 13th, but making progress. Zach Osborne goes through on Jose Boutron and moves back in at 5th place. How far down is he on Jake Nichols? 17 seconds, it would appear, at the moment. So Osborne's going to have to turn in some pretty special laps to close in on Jake Nichols. It's not impossible, but Jake Nichols, no easy pushover either. And he's going to try and focus all his efforts on keeping hold of that 4th place now. There's Tixier. Comes over the finish line jump, goes through in 8th place. Keeping it nice and low as he rejoins at turn 1 down by pit lane. Difficult to get a clear reading of the pit signal through there this weekend. There's so much going on under the wheels of those machines. Hidden holes, lots of slurry and square edge bumps, that kind of thing. They've done their best to work it, but there's Charlier. He's in 7th place. Going after the number 17 of Jose Boutron, Diga Racing. Walked off with a heck of a limp. Yesterday, wasn't sure if it was knee or ankle that he was struggling with yesterday, but there's Osborne just going through that right-hander in the opposite direction. But this is a battle here. 3 riders involved. Jose Boutron, Christophe Charlier, Jordi Tixier. Julian Lieber about 4 seconds off the back of this in 9th place. And Lieber in the first race was running up there for quite a while. Eventually came home in 21st, but he'll be looking to try and stay up here. Sets his fastest lap of the race, actually, the LRT Motorsports KTM rider. 17.23 and the 9.11, though. That's the battle we're looking at. 6th, 7th and 8th. And Boutron gives way to Charlier, the Frenchman on the Monster Energy Yamaha. And the rider in black goes back into 6th position. Getting a little bit dark out there again, quite worryingly, because the circuit just coming back to some state of normality. Not going to be ideal for MX1 in the second half of this race, if that's the case. But 16.5 minutes, Boutron hanging it out there, having a good ride. 15th in moto number 1, the young Spaniard. He'll just want to get through here with as many points as possible. The rider who arrived here 9th in the championship. Did he actually lose ground in that first race? No, he stayed there. Dylan Ferrandis made some positions up. Tommy Searle has 11.5 seconds as Julian Lieber goes through on a back marker, bottom of the hill, the number 33. Young kid gets a good start. He can run with the top 10, top 15 guys. That seems to be the case. That's what he wants to do as well, the second half of the season. And he's doing a pretty good job of it at the moment, Julian Lieber. 15.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go in the second FIM MX2 motocross race here. The Grand Prix of Sweden at Uddevalla. Race 1 was a washout. Race 2, a little bit drier condition. And Tommy Searle currently leads by 11.5 seconds over Dylan Ferrandis. That's him there in yellow on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki. Just behind him and doing a good job of closing in is Jeremy Van Horebeek on the Red Bull KTM in 3rd. Backmarker nudges himself aside. Jake Nichols is in 4th. Zach Osborne is 5th. Chris Charlier is 6th. Jose Boutron is 7th, with Tixier, Lieber and Guyot down in 10th. Jeffrey Herlings now up into 12th after a poor start and a crash on the opening lap. And Herlings pretty much side by side with Romain Febvre, just less than a second as they came through just a moment ago. Van Horebeek hard on the brakes. Puts the squeeze on Dylan Ferrandis and goes through in a 2nd position. He'll have his eyes now set on Tommy Searle. Tommy Searle last time around a 1:58.8. Van Horebeek a 2:06. Zach Osborne, fastest man on track. Oh, sorry, sets his fastest lap, sorry, 1:59.7. But he's still 15 seconds down on Jake Nichols, who's hanging on to a great 4th place here in this second MX2 race. Christophe Charlier back in 6th position now, ahead of Jordi Tixier. Jose Boutron, who's lost 2 positions on that lap. Julian Lieber only 2 seconds down now on Jose Boutron, surely feeling the pain of that crash from yesterday's qualifying or time training session. Then we've got Valentin Guyot, Romain Febvre, Glenn Koldenhoff in 13th, Petrov, Lupino, Roulance, Anstey. So Roulance has made a mistake and fallen back into the clutches. In fact, Anstey just goes through on him and is now in 16th position. So Roulance has gone missing here, it would appear. Yeah, because Ivanovs goes through in 17th. Patrell 18th. So Joe Roulance, a problem for him in the second half of this race. There's Tommy Searle, our race leader, having to deal with back markers. He needs this result. He's been trading wins and seconds the last couple of races with Jeffrey Herlings, which means they've been at stalemate. The championship remaining at 24 points for the last few races, but it went out to 27 when Herlings won Moto number 1. There is our race leader, our championship leader, Jeffrey Herlings. Got clear track ahead of him. And he's currently in 10th position at the moment. He's 10 seconds down on Julian Lieber. Was only a second quicker than Lieber last time around. Lieber in the opposite direction already, heading up through that wave section. So he just needs to keep his focus. now he's got clear track, he can concentrate on the task at hand, but either way, he's going to have to settle for a bit of a points loss here if it stays with Tommy Searle winning the race. Of course, we go to Latvia in 2 weeks' time. Sand track, of course, he'll be looking to pick up more points there. We're going down to pit lane. Here's Amy with Valentina Ranić.
Joining me in the pit lane, Valentina from Red Bull KTM. Jeffrey Herlings won the first race. Unfortunately, had a crash at the beginning of this one, but he's now moved up into 10th.
Yeah, first hit he did really good, and on the second, unfortunately, he was a bit close at the start, and also he had a crash, so now he's trying to do as much as he can, but I also believe he's trying to keep it safe for the situation, you know, so not to risk too much because the track is not in the best conditions.
Thank you, Valentina.
Goes back to thinking about what you're doing, sometimes having to go slower to go a bit quicker, be consistent, be smooth, be patient, more importantly. Jeffrey Herlings, though, seems to have found his way up. Is that even-offs? Or is that the 300 of Golovkin? I think it might be Golovkin, actually. Soon find out. Both of them riding for the Riga motocross team, Kawasaki's. I think it was even-offs, actually, because even-offs now not coming through on our leaderboard. He was 18th a minute ago. As we continue to watch Jeffrey Herlings as he closes in on Julian Lieber. That's Lieber there, 33. And there's Herlings, so already knocks a heck of a lot of time off. 5 seconds he was down on him last time around, already all over the back of him. So look at that, 159 to the 205, 6 seconds he's pulled back. And he's got Boutron just there, so easy pickings here for Herlings for another couple of positions. That'll take him to 8th place. And then he's got Tixier, his younger teammate, just a little bit further up the field. So Herlings going to be easily picking off 3 places here in the next couple of laps. Jeffrey Herlings sides his way up the inside, has to pull out of the pass though, because Lieber goes from left to right to line himself up for the final turn there that leads back onto the circuit at turn 1 and down past pit lane. Herlings is going to jump long here, brake harder surely than Julian Lieber, give him a bit of a lean on as well at that second turn, and does just that and finds himself now into 9th, does Jeffrey Herlings. Been a good ride though for Julian Lieber, with 9.5 minutes left to go, plus 2 laps, looking at potentially picking up what could be his best race finish of the season. As we look at, is that Anstey or Lupino? Might have been Anstey, actually, not sure, just saw a flash of yellow. Jose Boutron not really going to try to defend his position against Jeffrey Herlings. Nothing to do with brand awareness or anything else, but just not in a physical state to do anything but appear to be a sitting duck in the closing stages of this second race on that Diga Racing KTM. Got a great start, showing you just how important that is, because he's still there in 8th position at the moment, but Herlings look down the inside, nice and easy. Julian Lieber will be thinking, maybe I can do that in the next couple of laps as well, because Boutron's not really getting away from me. We're going down a pit lane, I think, with Diga Racing.
I'm in the pit lane of Diga Racing team. Jose Boutron was unfortunately had a bad pre-qualifying yesterday. How is he feeling today?
Pretty good, actually. He had pretty much help from the doctor of the organization. He has been resting a lot. That's why he didn't make the qualification race yesterday afternoon. And this morning we tried, was going well with a good start. And on those conditions, like we saw in Brazil, he's going well.
Thank you.
And doing a good job. He's got Julian Lieber all over the back of him, though. Lieber has had a 12th place finish this year. So looking at his season's best, or his career best, actually. As he drops down the hill. Tommy Searle, though, 14 seconds clear of Jeremy van Horebeek in terms of the race lead and the gap to second. So managing the situation pretty good, still lapping about a second and a half quicker that time around than Jeremy Van Horebeek. Ferrandis, though, having a great ride, knocking on the door for his first MX2 podium. And he's 6 seconds clear of Jack Nicholls, who remains in 4th place on the Nastan GM Racing KTM. Got off to a good start, did Nicholls. Only been passed by Tommy Searle and Jeremy Van Horebeek during this race. There's Herlings now in 8th. He is 4 seconds down on Tixier, his teammate. I'm sure the KTM boards will be saying that Herlings, or in fact he'll probably take a look over his shoulder and realise that his teammate's there. Here are the 2 Red Bull KTMs right here in this turn, heading through that wave section. Tixier, the lead rider in that shot. He's in 7th position. Bit of time to make up, though, to Christophe Charlier, about 9 seconds. He's got 6.5 minutes in which to do anything about that. But Charlier was a 2:03 that time around. Herlings a 2:01, so it's possible again. Bernie gets ready to put the board out to Jeffrey Herlings as he homes in on the rear end of his teammate, Jordi Tixier. As they fight over 7th place. Certainly breathe a little bit of spice into this MX2 championship now. The second moto, not over until the final checkered flag, of course. Keeps it low, teammate defends the line. Probably get the board signal now. We'll take a look over his shoulder and see what's going on. A back marker just moves out of the way. Lets them both through. Herlings trying to go around the outside. Gets on the gas, but loses that drive to Tixier. Jordi Tixier, the 125 European champion from a couple of years ago. There, number 911. Was last year with Nastan GM Racing, his first year in MX2. Now a fully paid-up factory rider with Red Bull KTM. That's a horrible rut. Get off balance there, you're down the side of the banking there, that's for sure. But brighter conditions, the track getting better all the time. Something of a racing line beginning to appear. Just a little bit further back behind this battle for 7th position. Jose Boutron 9th, still being run ragged as Herlings goes through on his teammate and takes that 7th place. So we've got Lieber down in 10th, Roman Fabre 11th, Glenn Coldenhoff is 12th, Alistair Prino is 13th, Valentin Guillot 14th, Anstey is 15th, ahead of Benoit Petrel, Petr Petrov, Joe Roulon, Simone Zecchina and Kenny Van Duren, but Tommy Searle still leads. He's 17 seconds clear of Van Horebeek. So the next thing then we look at, as we concentrate on Jeffrey Herlings here, number 84, our championship leader, 17-year-old kid from Holland, is how far behind Christophe Charlier he is. Over the line he comes, so Charlier, we've got Tommy Searle, Van Horebeek, Dylan Ferrandis 10 seconds further back, Nicholls is 4th, 10 seconds behind him, Zach Osborne, Montreal Yamaha. Then we've got Christophe Charlier, 10 seconds of difference between Charlier and Herlings. Charlier was quicker that time around, 2:03.8 compared to the 2:03.4. So it's got to be a big push now for Herlings if he's to close down and pass Christophe Charlier. There's Tommy Searle. The only thing he'll be worried about is getting through here, picking up 25 points, taking the overall Grand Prix victory. Nice. Keeps it nice and low, scrubs his way onto that first turn. Not easy in these conditions. Goes through on a back marker. Benoit Paturel, 1:42, he's 16th. And another 15 seconds further at the track is Max Anstey, who's in 5th on the Garibaldi Ester machine. Herlings 7th. What's the gap now? Just Just waiting for him and Charlier to come through. Charlier goes through. In fact, Herlings has he lost a bit of time? No, we're just waiting for Nichols is through in third. He's 34 seconds down on Tommy Searle. There goes Osborne in fifth. Charlier, we're waiting for him to come through in sixth. We look at Tommy Searle, our race leader. Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Because all our eyes will be on the battle in the moment between Charlier and Herlings for that battle for sixth place. That's Boutron. He's in ninth. Right, Charlier, 103 behind our race leader. For Herlings to come through, still 8 seconds down. And time running out, 1.5 minutes. So depending on how far around Tommy Searle is on this particular lap, depend on whether we get 2 laps or we're 3 laps to go right now. Julian Lieber having a good ride, a solid performance here for him. Number 33 on the LRT Motorsports KTM private team. Being looked after by his brother on the training stakes, but father pretty much the team owner, team manager. Just looking further down the leaderboard here. Any changes? No, Roman Faber still there on the Bodo Schmidt Motorsport KTM in 11th position. That's Jake Nichols on the left in the white on the Nastan JM Racing KTM, number 45. He's in 4th place. Zach Osborne was 7 seconds down on him at the start of that lap. 16 laps completed by Tommy Searle and Jeremy Van Horebeek. Now that gap 16 seconds between those two. That's Simone Zecchina, number 12. He's a lap down in 19th place, the European champion from 125 last year. He's got Kenny Van Duren all over the back of him as well, the 103. So the JTEC Yamaha rider versus the Kimiya Raytec Yamaha. So it's 3 laps to go then. Oh, somebody getting a little bit wayward there. Where's Herlings? Has he found a way up onto the rear end of Charlier? Charlier goes through now, 106 down on the leader. 5 seconds down now is Herlings, so he's still got, it'll be 2.5 laps for him. As we look at Lupino, Ritchie Racing Husqvarna, he's in 12th place at the moment, behind Julian Lieber and Roman Fabre. Lieber has just gone through. Roman Fabre, where's he gone? Yeah, he goes through as well. So Lupino, 3 seconds down on the rider in 11th position. Didn't finish the first moto. Alessandro Lupino went out quite early on. It's Roman Fabre, Bodo Schmidt Motorsport, KTM, the 461. The rider ahead of him, a back marker. He's actually chasing down the 33 of Julian Lieber, but he's got 6 seconds down on the youngster. Tommy Searle's gone through. That's Charlier, 23. Having a good ride in 6th. Got no goggles on, though. Where's Herlings? Herlings should be in the background any moment now. He is. So that's the length of the straight through that wave section. A mistake from Herlings. Oh, there's a back marker. There's Herlings coming through now. So lost a little bit of ground there as Jeffrey Herlings. I'm wondering if the team have told him, OK, don't worry about Charlier. Just concentrate on the job at hand and see where you end up. Joel Roulance just sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:57.4 on lap 16. As he's working his way back up, but down in 16th at the moment. Well, there's Herlings. 2 laps to go now for him. Just trying to work out the point situation here. Tommy Searle would win the Grand Prix. Herlings could possibly nick second from Dylan Ferrandis. So it'll be a double first for Dylan Ferrandis. Third in the race, probably third on the podium. We'll have to wait and see. It's a bit too tight to call at the moment. But in terms of the championship, Tommy Searle would move, just quick working out here, to 4:03. Herlings will be on 3:87, so that would bring it down to 16 points by my reckoning. That's, of course, if Tommy stays where he is, of course, leading the race at the moment. And, oh, nice again. Giving the photographers and the videographers something to shoot there, Tommy Searle. Very, very nice technique. Of course, he can afford to do that this late in the race. He's got 14.5 seconds over Jeremy van Horebeek, the Red Bull KTM rider, in second position. Herlings, though, we wait for him to come through. Got a bit of a wait, though. Tommy Searle lapping his teammate, Joel Roulance. Roulance down in 16th position, so we saw Roulance, of course, having a problem in the early stage of the race, lap 1, lap 2. Not really going to close down Max Anstey. Joel Roulance, he was 9 seconds behind him. So he'll just sit behind Tommy Searle, his teammate now, just come home. Roulance just taking his goggles off there in the background, but Tommy Searle, though, already a 6-time race winner in 2012. Of course, he's got 3 Grand Prix victories as well. So in terms of milestones, going to be another win for Searle, but more importantly for him, potentially going to close that gap down to 16 points to championship leader Jeffrey Herlings, which will be a nice little bonus, because Moto number 1, it went out to more than a Moto, 27 points. So a good race then for Tommy Searle. Got out start, clean, moved slightly over to the left, gave himself plenty of room, defended his line, and then well, the rest is history. Takes a long look over his shoulder, comes out of the final corner, and Tommy Searle takes the win here in Moto number 2 in Sweden. He wins the overall Grand Prix as well. They'll be pleased with that. Last time around, Charlier had 8 seconds over Jeffrey Herlings for that battle at 6th and 7th place. We wait for Jeremy van Horebeek to come through. Here's Amy with our race winner.
Congratulations, 2 GP wins on the trot. How do you feel?
I feel good. It's nice to get him back to back. I just wish I would have won the first moto as well. I'm a little bit disappointed because I keep winning the second race, but not the first one. But I'm going to keep plugging away and knock these points gap down.
Well done. We'll see you on the podium in just a second.
JJ, Jean-Jacques Lassetti there on the left, a team owner, team manager, Fluid Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, or team owner anyway. But goes to get himself cleaned up. There's Herlings, already over the line. Van Horebeek. Ferrandis Nichols does come home in 4th place. Of course, we'll give you the full rundown in a minute when we return. Jeffrey Herlings then crosses the line. A little bit disappointed for him. He comes over the line in 7th place, but that's the story. Dylan Ferrandis takes his first FIM MX2 motocross podium. 3rd overall in the race, 3rd overall in the Grand Prix. The Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki rider reaches another milestone here in his development as an MX2 World Championship racer. And congratulations from everybody as well. So in a minute we'll give you the official classification, but the overall Grand Prix is going to be Tommy Searle, Herlings and Ferrandis, with Nichols fourth this weekend. And for Jake Nichols, that will be his best overall Grand Prix finish of the season. So too for Dylan Ferrandis in third. Tommy Searle wins the second race here. Grand Prix of Sweden at Uddevalla, quite convincingly from Jeremy van Horebeek. Dylan Ferrandis third for the first time in his young MX2 career. Jake Nichols was fourth, ahead of Zach Osborne, Christophe Charlier and Jeffrey Herlings fighting through from 28th on lap 1 to 7th by the checkered flag. Jordi Tixier was 8th, ahead of Jose Boutron and Alessandro Lapino, with Roman Favre in 11th. Glenn Coldenhoff was 12th, Max Anstey 13th, Julian Lieber 14th, Valentin Guillot, Joe Roulant, Benoit Paturel, 2-point scoring rides from the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki rider on his wild card this weekend. Petar Petrov, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2 rider. And then Simone Zakina, JTEC Yamaha, Prit Retsep, the number 221 Diga Racing KTM rider, down in 21st.
So we will do the prize giving, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course, we're getting ready to welcome the riders to the podium ceremony, but in terms of the overall Grand Prix, well, we already know Tommy Searle was our overall winner for the fourth time this year. Back-to-back victories as well. We heard him say that he was disappointed not to have won the first race because it could have brought him 3 points closer to Jeffrey Herlings. But overall win for Searle, Herlings, Ferrandis. A new look podium this weekend. Nichols, Osborne, Tixier, Roulant and Van Horebeek didn't finish the first race, so he'll be disappointed as well. Coldenhoff 9th overall with Jose Boutron. 18 points for him. Pretty heroic, the crash that he had yesterday. Tonkov out of the points in the second moto. Championship looks like this then. Jeffrey Herlings continues to lead. He moves to 4:03, as we pretty much suspected he would. And Tommy Searle goes to 3:87. That gap just 16 points now.
He's in third place. It's his first roster place ever in his short career in the GP. Congratulations to Dylan Ferrandis in particular and to the others.
As we look at the rest of the guys as well, just by in the championship there, Zach Osborne now 24th. His points on the board this weekend. And he'll be looking to progress from there as well. Go to the sand track in Latvia at Kegums in 2 weeks' time. That'll be round 10. And remember, this year it's not 15 but 16 rounds of the FIM Motocross World Championship, both classes, MX1, MX2. Manufacturers Championship looks like this. Number 84, not on the top step of the podium this weekend, but KTM are 14 points clear of Kawasaki, so still pretty tight there between those guys. Yamaha are third, with Honda fourth, Suzuki and Husqvarna down there 5th, 6th, with TM picking up a point today in the hands of Andrea Chervelin. They're down in 7th.
Okay, the top three, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan Ferrandis, third position.
So third overall this weekend, the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki rider takes his first race podium, takes his first ever overall third place, or position on the podium, I should say. Jeffrey Herlings second overall. It was a tough fight for him. Bad start and also a mistake on the first lap as well. Came through from 28th to get to 7th. That was good enough for second overall. But Tommy Searle, though, the Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider, takes the top step of the podium for the 4th time this year. Congratulates both riders either side of him. JJ, Jean-Jacques Lassetti, team manager, team owner, should say, of that team. Michael Anderson, vice president of the club here at Uddevalla, hands Dylan Ferrandis his first Grand Prix trophy. As the MX1 guys break the silence, they're citing that. Ralph Steen, the mayor of Uddevalla. Good to see you, sir. Gives Jeffrey Herlings his second place trophy. But our overall winner takes his winner's trophy from Roger Johansson, Uddevalla Energy. So he'll be pleased that he's won the Grand Prix, but he'll also realise an opportunity lost in that first race, losing those vital 3 points in the first moto. JJ, Jean-Jacques Lassetti, also gets his team's trophy. That'll fit nicely on their ever-growing collection shelf. But Jeffrey Herlings, though, continues to lead the championship. Another red plate for him, 16 points clear. Johan Peter Ribbink of the FIM, the delegate this weekend.
Okay, trophies up for the picture, please. Thank you very much.
So all smiles for our MX2 podium guys. But before we go anywhere else, National Anthem of Great Britain, Tommy Searle. Japan were winning manufacturers this weekend, with Kawasaki is their national anthem winners this weekend.
Let's go with the champagne, man, and see you in the winner's all, ladies and gentlemen.
Tommy Searle wins the overall Grand Prix here then at Uddevalla in Sweden, round 9 of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. He closes the gap on the guy to his right, Jeffrey Herlings, reduces it to 16 points after it was 27 before the start of that second race. And Dylan Ferrandis on the Bird Rockstar Racing Kawasaki comes home third, his first ever visit to a podium. And here's how it went down. Tommy Searle, Jeffrey Herlings squeezing each other in through turn 1. And you see, try to keep it nice and tight. And Herlings went down on the opening lap, was very lucky not to get collected there as well. But he dug in, hit the electric start on that KTM 250. He got himself out of there and started in his quest to find his way through inside the top 10. Tommy Searle, though, found his way past Jake Nichols and Dylan Ferrandis, and eventually went through to lead the race, and from there he was never headed. Christophe Charlier was having a nice bit of a battle, eventually got caught out with his teammate, but Van Horebeek went through on Ferrandis to go second. But as the race wore on, number 84, Jeffrey Herlings then found a way past his teammate, Jordi Tixier, and got closer to Christophe Charlier, but couldn't do anything about it. But Tommy Searle took the win here, and he's waiting to speak to us. He's down by the winner's circle, waiting to speak to Amy. And let's hear what he has to say about his weekend's performance.
Tommy, 2 GP wins now on the trot. Are you happy with how this weekend's gone?
Yeah, I'm happy to get another win. I just wish I would have won the first race. I need to get winning that first motor as well. I've been consistent. I've won the last four. I mean the last four GPs, the last motor. So I need to start doing that in the first one. But I actually managed to close the points gap a little bit. Like each weekend we've been going 1, 2, 2, 1. So I actually gained some points. So I'm really happy with that, and just keep building with this momentum and close that gap more.
Well, congratulations, and we'll see you in Latvia.
Thank you.
Yeah, he needed to get that gap down one way or another, and he was able to do that in this second race here. Just goes to show, championship's still a long way to run, not over until the checkered flag drops in either moto, but once he got through, he opened up a nice advantage, almost 20 seconds in the end over Jeremy van Horebeek, but just disappointed not to make it a double race win. That would have been a really good Grand Prix then for him, but hey, it's a win. He's closed the gap. That's what counts. Those points might not be crucial come the end of the season, but they might be at the same time. Here's Jeffrey Herlings. He was second.
Jeffrey, a difficult second race there for you, but nevertheless you finished second overall. Are you happy with that result?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. You know, it's better than what happened in Brazil at least. So, you know, just unfortunately lost 8 points to Tommy. You know, great race to him, but made some mistakes myself. You know, in the first turn, got in touch with Jeremy and Jordi Dixie. Both of my teammates, we got in touch, and then almost went down, and then half lap farther got taken out by Tankov. Well, he didn't do it on purpose, but I just made a crash, and then I think came from 25th till 7th, so lost 8 valuable points, but hope to make it up back in Kegem. I really enjoy riding that track, and yeah, I got second overall, so really pumped for the team. You know, Rebel KTM race team did a great job, and as I said, hope to win next week.
Well done. You keep hold of that championship lead.
Well, he salvaged something from that second race, but Jeffrey Herlings will march on to Latvia in 2 weeks' time. And he'll go to one of his preferred circuits when he looks at the calendar. Valkenswaard being one of them, Lierop coming later on in the year, but anything with a little bit of sand in it, expect this guy to do well, but needs good starts, needs to stay out of trouble. If he does that, it might be all right, but still 2 weeks away. Here's Dylan Ferrandis.
Dylan, we see you each weekend getting better, race by race, and finally that finish on the podium. How happy are you?
I can't believe it's unbelievable. I finished third, the podium, my first podium. Today the track was so difficult with the rain, so difficult. First moto I did a hard shot. Second moto same. Can't believe my bike is so good. My team is perfect. It's perfect. I'm really happy. I hope to do next weekend and after the same.
Congratulations to you.
Kid is a little bit excited there, but so he should be. I was talking to Jackie Vimond. His goal for this year was top 10 for him. That was possible, and he said he'd been realising that with the 4th place finishes that he's got, and just coming better and better each week. And there we go with 3rd overall this weekend in Sweden. Kid's making progress, that's for sure. And in terms of his championship, moves himself up into 8th. He was 10th before we started here this weekend. We'll be back in a moment with MX1, race 1. Race 2, I should say.